that Ioko has dropped the ball on this one. Look, there's already a perception in Ioko about the Ioko boss. There's an argument that under the MPP, he suffered so much indignity and injustice. Under the MPP, his properties were destroyed, were seized by the state. That the MPP was so wicked and so bad to him. That is already there. That perception is there. Now he's in charge of Yoko. Now he's come, and the argument then is that it is now his time to say justice is karma is a bitch. Better said what? Cold. Now he has his time. You see, when you juxtapose what has happened, what was supposed to be a normal, boring legal process, we are arresting you, we are charging you, your fate is with the court. Yeah. When you now bring all these nuances, when you now bring all this other effort, it then looks like the Yoko now is now being weaponized to go on a vengeance, and that is not like kind of like vengeance on steroids by this individual. And when you do that,
Zato, I mean, in order to draw the connection that this could be vendetta because Raymond Archer lost his business under the tenure of the MPP, then we should be able to connect what Chairman Wontumi did during that period to how Raymond lost his businesses. But at this point, we are not able to do that. What we have rather are real charges against, or well, not charges at this point, but real accusations against Chairman Wontumi. How are you drawing the issue of vindictiveness and vendetta?
I am not saying there's a causal link between those two. I've not said that. I'm not saying there's a cause and effect between those two. I'm saying that there seems to be a correlation. And I also did say that perception is king in politics. I'm saying it is a perception. I'm not saying it's based on factuality. People are allowed to have their perceptions.
Yeah, was it perception?
Perception, yes. So I'm saying it's a perception. I'm not saying it is law. I'm saying the perception here seems to be that this gentleman suffered inhumanity, in indignity when the AP was in power. There's a perception. In fact, that's a reality. That's a reality. Now, this same gentleman is now in charge of these coercive state investigative bodies. And it just happens that this is the same body that is now teaching Wontumi a lesson. And as Martin made a point, I'm saying yes. No, that is, look. So now, and as Martin said, if you had been,
it's a perception that he's teaching him a lesson.
It's a perception. It's a perception that he's teaching him a lesson. Okay. Yes, it's a perception that he's teaching a lesson. Right. Now, and I'm saying that all this could have been avoided or prevented if, like Martin said, there was enough accountability and transparency. If by now, look, take the case of the Aduboyen guy.
Okay.
Yes, everything is there. They've charged him. There's a charge sheet. You can see them. Yeah. And then that is transparency.
Yes. He came out very
yes. In fact, he actually the Attorney General.
To be fair, he came out early, but he didn't drop charges.
Exactly. I know. But he came out and he said these are the issues at stake, and these are the issues I'll be taking to court.
Yes.
And he went to court. He put the issues there. So right now it is between the two, the prosecution and the defense and the judge, the court. The legal system. Assuming a similar thing had happened in Alternate assuming it was a simple process that you come and say, look, this is what he has also done. Even if you want, but I want to ask a question. Did he actually need to be in the eco cells before they can do the investigation?
Sometimes, if let's say he is hampering, Wontumi, to be fair, if you ask people in Kumasi, there have been times when he's not been fair to people in Kumasi, like the allegations that he terrorizes people, etc. Okay. So where there are fears that if he's out there, he will prevent people from responding to a cause. That's if only there is evidence. If only in law, that particular one, interfering with investigations, we don't say it lightly in court. There are many judicial decisions where the courts have warned police not to make that statement lightly. But if you have evidence that he has already called X and Y and warned them not to talk to police, you can tender it, but we don't make it lightly. And let me quickly add, like what you said, you see, look at people who are familiar with what happened. Liverpool celebrating their victory a few days ago, and then the man who ran into them. You see, the Merseyside police, what they did was that they came out with charges and came and briefed with this in the populace and said that they are still investigating and they will keep reviewing these charges. So as the investigations go on, if it turns out that these charges are no longer great, they will drop them. They will drop them. So this particular one, I think the information flow has cost us dearly. It's cost us.
I see. So Dr. Sato, just a few questions for you as you finish your point, right? Because I'm a tad worried about how you make the issue of how you put across the point on perception because it would appear to impugn the integrity of Raymond Archer as well. And that is why I'd ask you, first things first, when you say that the process is inhumane, what are you identifying as inhumane?
Thank you. Again, I'm saying that perception is king in reality in politics. So I'm not talking law, I'm talking politics. That there's a perception there.
And the law
I've also said that, yes, there are incontrovertible facts that he suffered certain injustice under the MPP. And so that perception could cloud what he's doing. I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong. I'm not saying he's doing right. But that is on the personal side, the agency side. But as an institution, I think EOCO has dropped the ball. In that, one, I said that and Martin is saying it, there are better ways that they could have done it. As I said, arrest the guy, charge the guy, put it there. And you made a point. Even if the case then was that if you leave him on bail and if you just go ahead, he will interfere. That, and as you are saying, that evidence, we've not put it there. So all of a sudden, it seems that there's this black hole, there's this vacuum of no information, of no knowledge. And so what we are then seeing is that two main players. There seems to be Chairman Wontumi on the other side, and then there seems to be. And His Excellency, the former Vice President, made a very important point. And I think that, look, hate his politics or hate our politics. But if it is true that he did speak to somebody, and if it is true, because what I know is that there was a funeral in Tamale, the Mionlana's funeral, and the former Vice President was at that funeral. So I think the only reason why he could leave that funeral to come to Accra would be that he had a kind of, I want to say probably a gentleman agreement with somebody, or he has spoken to somebody, and the person said
before EOCO picked him up?
No, before Bawumia came there, what I heard you say that there had been prior arrangements.
Because that was what he said, yes.
I think we'll have Alexander tell us a bit more about that. But you know, the point I'm making is that you still haven't identified to me any inhumane activity that EOCO may have conducted against him.
I'm saying that if
he had access to counsel, he was ill, he was taken to hospital, he was granted bail. And so in the process of, I mean, where would that perception even come from?
That man has been in court since Tuesday, right? Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday.
That's I don't think that is humane. I don't think so. Personally, I don't think that is humane. Okay.
Because we don't know the facts. If we had heard maybe he's been paid X amount of money, the money went into his account. This things will not be happening.
So what I want us to do is to differentiate the issue of EOCO's lack of communication. I think we all agree on that, that EOCO's lack of communication has complicated people's position on this. But while we know that and agree on that, we should differentiate that also from whether or not EOCO acted right or wrong in dealing with Chairman Wontumi directly.
No,
I don't think there was anything inhumane there.
I'm saying that those two things are mutually inclusive. That if the process, if we consider they've dropped the ball, if we consider they have not told us why the man is being not enough detail, then why are you keeping him like that?
But I'm saying, what I know is that is it tantamount to? Because remember, Chairman Wontumi has been granted bail, bail conditions that have now been met. From his own lawyer, EOCO has been very good to them. And so when we sit here and feed into perception that EOCO has been inhumane to Chairman Wontumi because he's been there since Tuesday night, we'll be on the wrong path. Can we agree on that?
No, what I can agree on is that I hope that some of these issues we are saying, that institutions take them on to help with their reforms. The thing about institutions is that if you don't point out some of these things, they become too big and they continue on the path they are because they think that they are on the righteous path. My point is that as a student of reform, it's important to point out these things, hoping that somebody inside Boyoko could listen. And they say, look, in future, if we have another big fish or a bigger fish, let's probably do this. We call that reform, and those reforms are good. At the end of the day, they are aimed at what? Making our union more equitable and more fair. And that's the point I wanted to land on. If somebody spoke, if the former vice president spoke to somebody at EOCO, if they had, I'm not saying he did, because we're also reading.
He said prior arrangements.
If there were prior arrangements that he would come, and the man come and he cannot even meet Chairman Wontumi. I'm saying that, look, there is something fundamentally wrong with that. Look, somebody showed me a video when I was coming here of former President Mahama meeting Koko Anyedoho, who was held by intelligence for charge of treason or something like that. I'm saying that somebody sent me
held by the CID.
The CID on charges of treason. I want to believe treason is higher than what is happening now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the argument the person was trying to make is that in that case, the former president was allowed to at least meet Koko Anyedoho. So, and I'm sure in that case too, I don't think the former president just went there, say, hey, let me see. Probably he made some arrangements. The argument now is that if His Excellency, the former Vice President, also made these same arrangements and came, I don't think it was too much to say, at least see Chairman
For the
Wontumi,
same thing
at
you
least
have been
give
done.
him a hug or give him a handshake, at least
Right.
solidarize with him.
I think the exercise of discretion was not proper.
Exactly. So I'm saying that whosoever did that, please, look, we are all hoping to build a better Ghana. The Americans will say towards a more perfect union. In Ghana, we should also strive to create
A perfect
more
republic.
perfect republic. And in doing that, things of the past that were wrong, we should be bold enough to say that, look, this was wrong yesterday, but I am going to take the high road and I'm going to make it better. If we keep beating the same path, it's not good.
I mean, for me, I support the reformation.
I'll come back to you on your points on the reformation, but let me go to Zoom now. Professor Jampo, we've been talking for a while now on the Chairman Wontumi issue and whether or not there are germane issues around his detention in Ioko, the protests that followed involving members of parliament on the minority side, involving former government officials, and even the vice president himself, who had gone there to see Chairman Wontumi. But of course, the protest was already there, so he greeted the protest as well. Talk to us. What are your thoughts on this? Prof, you have to unmute.
I am
Go ahead.
surprised Martin Kpebu is sitting down for a very harmless point or recommendation he made to be stretched and into a very big universal set into which all other allegations of inhumanity can be dumped. Martin essentially was trying to say that in relation to the argument that the 50 million bail condition was too much, maybe Yoko could have come out to explain to the Ghanaian public, to educate or to let them know why the 50 million bail condition cannot be described as too much. And so he was saying that a little more of information to the public would have been good, would have been better. And as a political scientist, I side with him. But of course, if you speak to the Yoko, they also will tell you they have their ways and means of operating. Okay, so they may tell you that they may not owe you any explanation here and there. They may have their own argument. I may not, as a governance person who believes in transparency, I would go with Martin Kpebu, and I've always had the cause to say that sometimes some of these public institutions would have to have very quote unquote offensive communicators who would come out swiftly to be able to explain things, put information in the fore to shape public narrative or public discourse so that people will be clear in their mind. That was what Martin Kpebu was trying to say. But suddenly, we are told that that harmless recommendation that they should have been out there explaining is an opportunity for us to say that Yoko has been inhuman and has been unfair. And I don't see how Yoko in this particular matter has been unfair and has been inhuman. And then we are told that Raymond Acha suffered some punishment. You know, he lost his property, and because of that, necessarily, then he's doing something. I think that I am uncomfortable about this analysis, and I regret not being in the studio. The next time I'll be in the studio, I think I would appreciate, because sometimes I want to quickly also banter to set some records straight. But because I'm far away, it's difficult. But the point must be made that, you see, the Chairman Wontumi case, in my view, is a test of the resilience of our institution in dealing with crime perpetrated by those I refer to as politically untouchable. That the man is now entangled in high-profile criminal investigations, ranging from Galamsey operations to financial crimes and transnational money laundering, should, in my view, evoke not just partisan debate, but public alarm. this is not merely about the man Wontumi. It's about a certain attempt at normalizing impunity. It's about a certain attempt at eroding institutional credibility and the dangerous fusion of political capital with economic banditry. It is about whether Ghana, 32 years into constitutional rule, still possess the will and tools to hold power brokers accountable, even if they are wearing party colors. So the recent arrest, reportedly sanctioned by a legal court warrant, in my view, is a significant turning point. Ghana's law enforcement institutions have historically shied away from confronting politically insulated figures, especially those embedded in ruling party structures. So the Yoko, in collaboration with international partners, that they have decided to pursue Wontumi and to fight financial crime, in my view, should be seen as something that is welcoming. But my little fear is that Ghana has been here before. Our history is littered with politically charged arrests, followed by strategic silences, drop of charges, or quiet plea bargaining. And I want to urge Yoko that in their pursuit of justice, they must not copy this bogus political culture. If Yoko believes that Wontumi is culpable, he must not be shielded by the opaque architecture of elite immunity. That people are saying that the 50 million bail requirement is too much, in my view, must not elicit the kind of reaction from the minority. And this is why many Ghanaians are missing the leadership of Oseche Mensabosu. In my view, there should be a sensible way of using dialogue behind the scenes to appeal for a reduction of the bail condition that yields desired and beneficial results. So it's not about abandoning constitutionally mandated duties to go sit on the floor just to show loyalty to a rich man rather than protecting the national cause. People are saying the bail is too much, it's too much. But people have been given a bail condition of 500 million in Ghana here before. These guys never said that it's too much. And are we to be fooled that the 50 million bail condition is too much? They think we don't know what they have. They are just afraid that if anybody elects to say, I'm going to do that, then people will be questioning you and all that. And I'm arguing that even if it is too much, there is a sensible way to go behind the scenes to use dialogue, to talk to people that, look, we are brothers. We are brothers and sisters in Ghana. If you look at how the politicians behave behind the scenes, you'd marvel. I was the coordinator of a program called Ghana Political Parties Program at the hosted by the Institute of Economic Affairs. When the politicians meet, outside their attitude is different. But when they meet behind the scenes, they are brothers. And so if we have this kind of relationship, why won't we exploit it to go behind the scenes and say, look, the man genuinely may not be able to raise 50 million. And so we are pleading, can it be varied? Can we be reduced? Can it reduce? Think through dialogue, we can achieve. And Che Mensa would have led, in my view, the minority group better in doing some of these things than what we are currently experiencing. So indeed, the minority caucus unannounced protest at Yoko's office, led by its leader, raises a curious paradox. That the minority would abandon parliamentary procedure to defend a senior MPP figure under criminal investigations reeks of opportunistic theater, not principled resistance. Their protest raises critical questions. Are they now vanguard defenders of individuals under investigation for financial crime? Please, what they are doing is trivializing serious concerns about justice that is deliberately then repackaged as if it's a partisan stance. Let us be clear in our mind. Those calling for Chairman Wontumi to be investigated and, if possible, prosecuted They are not anti-Wontumi and they are not anti-Ashantis. They are anti-impunity. I don't know whether you've seen it, there is also a certain disingenuous attempt to ethnicize this thing that is going on. But I'm saying that the attempt to ethnicize the debate is an insult to the intelligence of the good people of Ghana and the good people of Ashantis themselves, many of whom have been loudest critics of how Wontumi have conducted himself. And so my view is that, look, if what he's done is wrong, let the law take its course. If he has defense, credible defense to defend himself, he has good lawyers. Let the lawyers also defend him. Let us not all of a sudden be seen to be necessarily by force puncturing hole. Who are we? The lawyer himself who is defending this man is saying that the processes have been fair and he's applauded the Yoko. Must we sit outside and necessarily by all means find challenges with everything? I don't think it is fair. I am not interested in this kind of thing and we can have a national conversation about it, that so every now and then the power changes hands, we have to go after people here and there. If it is not good, let us have an elite consensus about it. But the point is that we must not be seen to be showing loyalty to some rich men who have been accused or who have been taken through an investigative processes, and the processes have not terminated, and then we are showing loyalty to them instead of projecting what is in the national interest. It doesn't help. Then it's like anybody can do anything, and the moment you think they are coming after you, go wear party hat, and then you will try to then water down the effectiveness of the state in trying to address some of these. I think it is not fair to us in our forward march to ensure that the right thing is done, in our forward march to ensure that we demand accountability. If Yoko must put out information so that people would know, I'll go for that recommendation. But beyond that, I don't see why anybody should struggle to say that Yoko has been X has been Y, they are not doing their work well and all that. And I, like others have said,
well.
I don't believe in the politics of equalization, that it happened to this and so it must happen to that. I don't believe in that. It's a bogus practice. I believe that Prof, as we build our nation, we must.
We'll have more time for you to speak, but let's bring in Alex now. Alex, in addition to what you want to touch on based on the speakings so far, under what circumstance do our security and intelligence agencies begin to talk to people? Under what circumstances, what considerations do you make in setting bill as high as 50? Well, Professor Jampo said it's not high, but it's a lot of money. So however we look at it, 50 million cedis and the likes. You are in security. Talk to us.
Okay. I wish I have started from somewhere because it would then make me. But I'll definitely come to that.
Go ahead and then come to me.
Yeah,
afterwards.
I'll come to your point. Yeah. So this whole thing started with police inviting. Oh no, I mean police going to his premises in Kumasi to get him, and then it turned out to be that some people, I think his lawyers then time over there, agreed with the police that they will come to the HQ in Accra, I think on Monday, because I think it was a Friday that they went there, if I'm right.
Yes.
So, yes, he came to Accra on that Monday, and then reported again on Tuesday. And then he was picked by the Yoko people on Tuesday. Immediately from there, the argument started coming up from the MPP end that, why has he, why did he even go to the police, and then after that, the Yoko will come and arrest him? Why is the Yoko also having issue against him when he's before the police already? You see, whenever you are making such arguments, you need to first understand what law establishes all these institutions and what are their mandates. Yeah. the police have a mandate to arrest you when someone comes to report you to them on something. IOCO, by their law, permit me. If you look at their Act 804, you reckon that they, per Section 3, for instance, they have the right to investigate financial and economic loss to the state, money laundering, human trafficking, among others. They also have the right to prevent and detect organized crimes, and also generally facilitate the confiscation of the proceeds of crime. Now, our good friend and brother, the learned AG, Deputy AG, has made us understand that they are holding cases such as fraud, money laundering, and what else?
Cross-border international
money laundering, fraud and others against him.
Yeah.
So he was arrested. I listened to his lawyer, Senior and Diapekubi, and he's one person, to be honest, I must say it here. I've said it before him several times, and I respect him so much because of the way he always carries himself and how he makes his arguments, he's always very objective. You reckon that if you look at the behavior his other colleagues were putting up over there and the way he has conducted himself, any reasonable man will respect him and also accept his conduct. He made it clear that the arrest which happened before him was not unlawful. And that the people were having warrant of arrest to arrest Wontumi. So where from this argument? Why are you, making it look like it's like someone is after him or at all costs or whatever? If somebody or if an agency certified by that matter has a warrant of arrest against you and they can arrest you, what stops them? Whether or not we are with the police or we are with NACOC or we are with BNI, it doesn't change anything. In any case, you can even have case with BNI, you can have case with NACOC, you can have case with IOCO, you can have case with the police. All can be running concurrently. Nothing changes it. Nothing changes it. Today you are before police, CID, on the, I think, like, senior, that's your case, right?
Yeah, we reported
exactly.
Adam Sanandu and
the CSOs
yes.
And then Galamsey.
Exactly. Yeah. Just take that alone. Look at the video or the work that was done by our brother. Thank you. And look at the damage this gentleman has caused to this reserve forest. And then Nanda Konkufu and Baumia's government. And nothing was done. When people were raising concerns, the president then was rather defending him. Today the table has turned, and let me say it here. No human being is judged when you are alive. The Bible places the judgment after death. So you will be put to questions on accountability when the government that was shielding you is no more. And that's why today you are answering questions. There is nothing like intimidation. If Wontumi should not be answering questions, who else should be answering questions? I'm asking. We should not ask Wontumi questions because he's an MPP regional chairman. And so what? So we should not put questions to him. He can just do anything at all and just go away because and one funny thing that I even heard, that is because he's contesting or he's about to contest as a national chairman for the MPP. That is why we are doing this. I mean, who cares about your national chairmanship? Whether you win or lose, it has got no effect or impact on this country. That is your political party. We don't care what will happen next to you people. But that doesn't defeat the fact that you must answer questions where necessary.
Yeah.
Now you have been arrested. IOCO, I think by the second day or so, where they are granted bail by the second day.
Very night, 11. I could be say 11 to 12 midnight.
Okay. So even the very day that you are arrested, bail was granted to you. Under normal circumstance, all these agencies, that I mentioned earlier, we have the power to keep you 48 hours maximum. And after that, you have to put you there before court or grant you bail. But you are even lucky, the very day that you are arrested in the morning or afternoon, by the night of that day, bail has been granted. Now certain conditions were placed. Meet it. Then you see lawyers even within their party saying that, oh, it is too outrageous, the bail condition is too high. Who can raise that money? Really? Were you guys in this country when we were putting 100 million on the Tadufo? Were you guys in this country when we were putting 54 or so million on Wontumi and Co? Namuan, do you know how much you put on him as bail? Kofi Amwabin, do you know how much you put on him as bail? You are all here. But it was okay, for Amwabin and Co, Namuan and Co, because Namuan, it was alleged that he has defrauded some people, and so if you put 500-something million on him as bail, it's okay. Nobody spoke. Now it's your chairman, so you are speaking. This is a guy who said he's richer than every other person in this country. He sat on his TV.
So what has that got to do with the case?
Now, so if you are richer than every other person in this country, how can 50 million cedis be issued to you? You are burying yourself. You didn't build people around you to make it so that when you are in trouble, they can come to your aid. You see the way you are struggling. And you are making it look like someone is trying to punish you. Nobody is punishing you. You have been given bail. Meet the condition and go to your house and then wait for the next actions. If not, if you can't meet, don't blame anybody. Blame yourself and blame the people around you. And next time to be a lesson to you that if you go home tomorrow, build people around you and not just yourself. And that will put you in a position that tomorrow if you are in trouble, someone can come to your aid and assist you. When you call someone that, oh, Chum is in trouble, the person is willing and happy to fall in and then assist you. But because you are being selfish to yourself, you see that you are really struggling to get someone to come and assist you. I wouldn't be surprised if Nyandia Akubi was the one who convinced I mean the MP, what's his name? Brian Champo. Yeah. To that extent, to even accept.
But you know you don't have any basis to call.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that
selfish. You don't have any basis to call Chairman Wontumi selfish.
Oh, so he's not selfish.
But why are you calling him selfish? What's the basis for that?
Agreed.
So you withdraw.
Okay, so Chairman Wontumi is not selfish. But it's a lesson on him to build people around him. That will make it far easier for him next time round. But now, let's proceed, Keminni. The issue of whether or not he has gotten himself involved in fraud and other things that we are talking about. These are money laundering and these are not trivial matters. So if you want him to be pampered, when such charges are being raised, then I don't know where you are coming from. Are you saying that when somebody, puts a charge on someone, the person should not be made to answer the questions? Or now it is now a crime to put somebody in cells and then put a bail condition on him? It has never been a crime. I agree with the position that, we shouldn't make it so outrageous for it to become very difficult for him. But if 500 million was good, 50 million is nothing. If 100 million was good, 50 million is nothing. We didn't criticize 500 million. We didn't criticize 100 million. So why are we not talking about 50 million? Which is like a token when you compare it to that 500 million.
Right.
You get it? So, I don't buy that argument. Lastly, I want all the people who are singing, for his MPs who went to sit on the floor, I said it somewhere, that it's their choice. Their constituents didn't send them to go and sit on the floor at Yoko. They were sent to Parliament to go and represent their constituents, make laws and ensure that development will get to their constituency. You decided to go and sit on the floor on behalf of your constituency, regional chairman. That is your choice. It doesn't change the status quo.
And their right to protest.
Oh, of course. It is still their choice. They decide to walk from Parliament to that place. It's their choice. But it will not change anything. The law, as Madam said, will continue to be the law. And it will be applied to the root. It will be applied to the root.
Alexander, I know you haven't finished your point, and even my questions too have not been touched.
Yeah, so now give me a question.
But we have to take a break. When we come back, I'll have you finish the point.
And then you put your question again.
And then I'll put the questions again.
Very well.
You're watching Key Points. Don't go away.
Oh, and you're fine.
Go straight.
No, I'm not left, right.
That's right. Ghana na ye wono. So when you do more and ye data. Who knows? Abe, Mr. Politato. And you think I'm in your bed to be able to never have you. Oh, food to be and then you can.
Welcome back. It's Key Points here on TV3 and on 392.7 FM. I'm Keminni Amanor. I'll quickly go over my guests. I have very limited time and would have to use judiciously. Next to me is Alexander Chumberima, his Deputy Director General of the Narcotics Control Commission. And next to him is Dr. Joshua Zato, Policy Analyst, Senior Lecturer, UG Political Science Department. We also have here Lawyer Martin Pebu and Christian Malm Hersi, also a legal practitioner. On the virtual side, on Zoom, is Professor Ransford Jampo, who is CEO of the Shippers Authority. He's also professor of political science. Gentlemen, thank you so much, but we have very little time till we hit 11 o'clock, and so we'll use it judiciously. But Alex, I was with you.
Yeah.
What are the considerations really you would make for a security agency, for instance, to come up with a bail condition like that? What should it tell us about the accusations against Chairman Wontumi?
Well, the accusation, if I'm just going by what my learned friend, the Deputy AG, has said, if you look at the kind of crimes or offences that he has outlined.
Oh, but those are just labels, right?
Oh, yes.
So then, what I'm trying to get from you is, from the security and intelligence point of view, for you to set the bill at that high, what would be the depth of those labels that the...
Oh, but the amount is not even that high now. And moreover, it's not a money that you are going to bring to the table that is the money. You understand? So it's not something that if you are looking for, you can have a property worth than even more than that in this country. There are people who own several properties here.
So the bill isn't a problem.
It shouldn't be a problem.
And it doesn't show the depth of the accusation.
The accusation, well, you can link it to it, fine, but the amount is not that extremely huge as they are trying to portray. Because you see, the way they were talking about it, if you are not careful, you may think that it's something that they have asked them to go and bring that money, to come and put it and show you that this is the money. That is how the layman may pick it. But it's not. That is totally not the case. Just show a property worth that, or if you have it, maybe as I was even saying earlier, about 50 people can say, "Oh, I have 100 million, and then lump them together. You can get the total amount, and then it can be used to secure his bill. Show it. That's all.
But in the course of an investigation, what will make an intelligence agency speak to the public or not?
Oh. Well, let me use my end, for example. Whenever we pick, let's say, a suspect, we mostly tell, the public, or we release some kind of press, or let's say a news item on it, short, just giving you an idea of what we have picked.
Right.
And then who the person and where the thing even happened, for instance. And then that investigation is ongoing. So subsequently we'll be informing Ghanaians about the stages that we've gotten to. I agree that maybe Yoko should have come up, let's say even a day after the initial arrest, and then let Ghanaians know why they arrested him, for instance, that he's been arrested for A, B, C, D, and that investigation is ongoing. Simple. Yeah. So I'm sure, having said that, I'm very sure that maybe my brother Raymond will be picking it up from there, and then subsequently he would, if he does that, it doesn't change, interfere or does anything to the investigation that you are going to do. You can still proceed with your investigations and go ahead and get any other thing that you want. The only difference sometimes is that sometimes you shield certain things just because you may feel that if I mention that maybe the Doc is the one that I'm having, and maybe Senator Martin gets to know that he has something to do with Doc, and he has heard that his name is out there, maybe whatever investigation that you are going to do may link Senator Martin to.
Okay.
And you may need to arrest him or whatever. And for that reason, if you put it out there for people to know that, oh, Doc is with us, then the next thing, he is also gone.
I see.
That is why sometimes we
don't communicate.
Exactly, especially where you want us to be doing it. Because sometimes people feel that when the minute that thing happens, tell us. But we go back a bit. Let me give you an example. When we are dealing with something like cocaine matters.
Okay.
You don't just break the news that, oh, this person has been arrested on cocaine. Because most of the time, you may find the person being a courier. And there's somebody that he or she is doing it for. Right. So the moment you do that, that person...
Right. I see.
That is why sometimes we don't communicate immediately anyway.
I see. But why wasn't the vice president, maybe not why, because you wouldn't know, you don't work for that intelligence agency. But was it fair? Was it fair that the vice president, a whole former vice president, goes to see a suspect in custody, and then you turn him away just like that?
If you ask me fairness questions, I always quote my
Lord Hope.
Lord Hope, thank you. That's like beauty. It lies in the eyes of the beholder, Keminni.
But so what is your eye saying?
My eye is not saying that it's not fair. I mean, my eye is saying that it's okay. He said that there was an agreement between him and some people, right? Is that what he said?
Well, I haven't heard that.
Oh,
I haven't heard that.
Prior arrangements, rather, sorry, between him and that he'll be coming there, and then you go there and something else happened. Well, maybe the person that you was going to see was not there.
The person he was going to see. But who else would he go and see over there? Who else? Why?
Maybe by the time that
what kind of courtesy call is that? Who is he going to see over there?
Relax. Earlier on, you said that he was in the north for a funeral, right? I think it was so. You said he was in the north for a funeral, so he was coming from the north to Accra. So maybe by the time you got to Accra, whoever person you're going to meet was not available.
No, Alexander, if this was caught, I would say let's strike it out. But Hesse,
yes.
2 minutes. Final thoughts on this.
I believe there should be reformation. I believe, just like my senior colleague said, I call for reformation in respect of the whole bill arrangement. There should be certainty of the law, especially pulling together state actors on how that area of law should be conducted, lay down procedures. It shouldn't just be about a big fish, but as practitioners of the law, we are always hustling and jostling with even ordinary citizens, not to talk about big fishes that comes online and it gets public interest. But it is everything reformative. And also, when it comes to big fishes and all, the interplay between politics and this thing also goes a long way to affect the justice delivery. We should have sanity in that arrangement, and that sanity will be hinged on the reformation of the law. When that is done, it creates that balance in law and politics, and the two would live in harmony. And that is what we pray that Ghana would benefit from, rather than the uncertainty in the area when it happens, whether the bill term is met, whether bill is weaponized or not. I mean, there's a lot of jurisprudence on it, there are a lot of case studies and all of that. But the certainty of that particular area of law needs to be established so it is harmonized.
Okay, yeah, so the same thing, like you're saying, I think the matter of the reforms should be key. Let's go for it. So that tomorrow, I mean, we all, if any state institution, law enforcement agency calls you, you'll not be scared. Because, usually when they are calling you or they want to come for you, because getting bail is a nightmare, usually people don't want to go. Even Wontumi, the first time they went to his house with the arrest warrant, he had to shout, he had to do a broadcast. And then a lot of people came out, his supporters. So national security, they couldn't arrest him. Sorry?
I said Ghana phone, sorry.
Yeah, that broadcast again.
No, but that was after.
No, before. That was the first attempt. They went to his house, they wanted to arrest him.
That was a call for help.
Yes, so, and people came, and it prevented the arrest. It gathered a lot of people, so it prevented the arrest. So let's, modernize our laws on bail so that these things would stop, so that law enforcement agencies will rather concentrate on investigating the case proper and going to court. But when we don't, sometimes the bail, the arrest and the bail, like we are currently going, will suck up a lot of energy and time. This is needless.
Very well.
We should be interested in how the case will go to court. My last comment on it is that, so I'm happy the CID have finally made progress on the Galamsey case. We reported Chairman Wontumi and Akunta mining in the previous administration, but because of politics, Dampare and Fosna and Kofi, made sure that the case didn't go to court because they didn't want to touch Akufo-Addo's favorite party chairman. So thank God yes. We made a lot of noise here. They wouldn't mind. They even told us, let me mention, they gave us only one update. And you know, when Ando Kofi called us for Sina, then Superintendent Inkum said they had invited Wontumi, arrested him, and then admitted him to bail. Meanwhile, they didn't invite us to come and witness that.
Any of
they
that.
They didn't. And after that, that was it. You call, you send messages, letters, nothing. That's why I asked for Dampare and Ando Kofi. They didn't do this country any favors.
Should the protest stop now?
Which protest?
The protest for Wontumi's, the sit-in protest.
But they couldn't even
now
say that. You know,
Alexander, it's not for you. I'm talking to Dr. Zato. At this point, the protest can stop now, right?
I just do that. Anyway, I'm just asking.
Sometimes it's okay. It's funny when we see history repeating itself and continue repeating itself. It's good when we see this. But what I'm calling for, what I want to make most important about this is that Yoko, not only Yoko, but the cohesive arms of the state, both the investigative and other ones, must undertake some serious reforms. They shouldn't see the public as an enemy. And long gone the time when you think you can hoard information or keep information from people. What we are saying is that if they had made information to flow, if they will be very liberal with information, and if they had told us the right things at the right time, probably this will not happen. And it's important that they do that because look, sometimes when these two elephants fight, the grass becomes distant. What they are sometimes doing is that they are putting the careers of the professionals working in this place into jeopardy. They are putting the careers of these people into jeopardy. Now, maybe there's an official, there's a trained official sitting at Iyoko just doing his job. But these things make it look like they are all partisan. This action then gives that perception that all partisan. So before you realize, the moment there's a change of government, they keep either people are being transferred late at night, people are being fired, people are being demoted, people's promotion are sat on. Just because they are political leaders or just because policymakers, political leaders, politicize their processes, but they cannot come out because of this political neutrality out there to talk for themselves. So sometimes we should understand that we are putting the careers of professionals in jeopardy when we do these kind of things. So we should stay away from that. And the only way to do that is to make the process as transparent, to make the process as clear as possible, so that no matter what happens, because look, I can tell you some of the people who suffer most whenever there's a change of government, it's not only politicians who just career public servants. Men and women who have built their careers for 20 years, 30 years. All of a sudden, there's a change of government and then there's a perception that, oh, when you were there and Wontumi came, you were partisan in treating Wontumi this way. So tomorrow, before you realize, I transfer you to my hometown of Tumu, which is actually a nice place to be transferred, by the way. And then before you realize, your promotion is sat on for how many years? Then you probably go on retirement with that promotion. And that is because when the two political parties are fighting, you don't have a voice, you cannot come and say anything. So can we take a stand to say that let's not put these career professionals in the line of fire? Can we do things in a more transparent, more accountable, fair way, irrespective of who it is? I will say that. We are quick to ignore that Wontumi is a human being. We are quick to ignore that Wontumi is a man, he has a wife, he has children, he's a normal mortal. We only look at his excesses on TV. When you just fixate on his excesses, you remove his humanity.
No, but no one is going after him.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that please don't put career public servants in the line of fire.
Right.
It may threaten their careers. Don't do that by these actions.
Fair point.
Again,
I'll come to you.
I'm just asking a question. Are they still at the Yoko?
No, today we don't have any indication they are
but
there.
they were there
Also, remember they were at NIB last night.
They slept there.
No, they staged there for much of.
I thought they said they were going to
remember during that Fosun trial.
No, hang on.
MPs abandoned it and went to school. Remember they did that?
Yes.
It's the same thing. That's what
One second. Let me tell you.
They abandoned Parliament.
Wontumi was arrested in Kumasi by Kofi Boakye.
No, will this be your final comment? If not, then wait for your final comment. Professor Janko, your final comment before we go.
Thank you very much. I want to make the point again that in this particular Wontumi case, we know that our history is littered politically with politically charged arrests, followed by, once the politically charged arrests take place, Then everybody is talking about it. Everybody is talking about it before you realize there is some strategic silence. Everybody goes to bed. And then charges eventually are dropped, or there are quiet plea bargainings, and we raise the matter up, and then we just lower it, and then nobody talks about it again. I'm of the view that Yoko's pursuit of justice must outlive this bogus political culture, such that if the man is culpable, he must not be shielded by the opaque architecture of elite immunity. But if he is not culpable, let the processes be resorted to and let him be exonerated. So long as people who want to go and picket, and so long as members of parliament or members of the minority group act within the confines of the law, I'm saying so long as people who want to go and picket, and so long as members of the minority group act within the confines of the law, let the minority group go sit on the floor if they so wish. But let the security agencies be also humane in handling those they arrest. At the same time, I will urge the security agencies that they should be firm in subjecting the arrestees through due processes. They should not be swayed by people haven't gone there to picket and people sitting on the floor. I mean, that shouldn't mean anything to them. If those doing that, if they are acting within the confines of the law, I mean, nothing stops them from doing that, ventilating or venting their disagreement and all that. Nothing stops them, so long as they work within the confines of the law. But if they don't go within the confines of the law, then the law must take its course. Let the security agencies be humane in dealing with those they arrest, but at the same time, let us ensure that due processes are resorted to. If the man is culpable, let the law take its course. If he's not culpable, the fact that he's a big fish wearing a party color, a party hat, should not lead to his exoneration. I think that these things do not help. And it's about Ghana's, is a test for the resilience and the strength and fortitude of Ghana's institution in ensuring that even those who are big fishes and people who are quote and unquote big men are able to be dealt with if they run afoul of our laws.
Very well, Prof. Thank you so much. Alex, I think you take us home on this one. You were asking me a question about whether or not they did protest last night.
But they didn't sleep there.
No, they didn't sleep there.
Initially, they thought that they were going to spend the whole night there, so I thought they slept there.
But your final comments for us. But then while you do that, my question to you will be whether this is tit for tat.
Oh, no. Oh, which one is a tit and which one is a...
they've done it to us before, so let's do it to them.
No. If we were to be going that tangent, almost 60% of them would have been in cells by now. If we were to go that tangent, that whatever they have done, we are going to give them a retaliation, they would have, about 60% of them would have been in cells. We are just going by those, or going after those who have done something wrong against the law. But you see, Wontumi and his actions whenever he's arrested, it didn't start today. I think during the first term of President Muhammad, that was when Senior Koribuachi was at Ashanti Region as the regional police commander. He assaulted a member of parliament, and then he invited him to the police station. The member of parliament went to report. So he was invited. He sat on radio and said that he will not come. And then finally, for him, when he appeared there another time with his lawyers, he was arrested and detained. When you passed there that time at Kumasi Central Prison, MPP members went to stand there praying to God, clapping and praying that God should intervene for them to release Wontumi. Today, the same person that you arrested, the members of parliament are sitting on the floor It's funny. So that is what comes around him anytime he's arrested. He just wants to always take the people for the right. But listen, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Once Wontumi knows very well that he has not done anything wrong, and that all these charges coming up, he is ready to defend and then exonerate himself through his lawyers or whatever, at whichever forum. That's okay. But if he's unable to do that, then you should get ready for the consequences. Because the consequences, you will not get your way out like you got it in the past government, whereby there were clear things, as Nia was mentioning. Someone has gone to report you to the police about the destruction that you are causing to forest, and the police will not even give courtesy to even the complainants.
Yeah.
And go ahead and do what pleases them because your government was in power. You will get the president to come and stand on national platforms and defend you. It's past. This time around, you'll be subjected to every form of accountability. So just be ready for it. You can cry from tomorrow morning to the next day morning. No problem. But that will not defeat the purpose of whatever we want to do. You will answer any question that will be put before you. You are happy to have very good persons like an senior and happy and go to be defending you.
Anyway.
Very well. I think we have to go now. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Dr. Zato, there is a question on Facebook for you. They say, what is Dr. Zato saying? Did Wontumi consider the ordinary Ghanaian when he was destroying the only source of water to a whole community? He's saying Wontumi's family is more important. Is he saying Wontumi's family is more important than the whole community or region? Don't forget, some Wontumi people are happy about his arrest. I think the person is referring to the caution at the CAID on those environmental issues. And that one came in for you, but you can't react. We are going. So, gentlemen, Christian Malmhelsi, private legal practitioner, Martin Pebu, private legal practitioner, Dr. Joshua Zato, policy analyst, Alexander Chum Berima, Deputy Director General, Narcotics Control Commission, Professor Ransford Jampo. He's also the CEO of the Ghana Shippers Authority. He's also a professor of political science. Earlier, there was a former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansasare. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and your insight on the subject matter. I am Keminni Amanor. This is Key Points. Bye-bye.